What I have for you today is the brand new travel backpack from Fyro. This is the Levo 30. And like everything in life, there's tiers to even bags. You have your higher end designer luxury bags that focus on aesthetics over functionality, like your Louis Vuittons. And then there's a class of bags that I like to call the workhorse, a bag that's designed and built to get shit done. And that's exactly where I think the Levo 30 falls, in that workhorse class. So in today's video, I'm gonna unpack all the details of the Levo 30. I'm gonna show you the ins and outs. I'm even gonna pack it out for you, and I'm gonna tell you what it has been like using this bag over the last about 5 weeks or so. But full disclosure, because transparency is key, Fyro did send this bag out to me to test and review. I'm also friends with Fyro's owner, Aaron. You may have even seen me on his podcast, but I was not paid. This is not a sponsored video. All opinions are my own, and the goal of this channel remains the same. It's to test and use every single product that gets reviewed and to share my honest thoughts and opinions. Now, like always, there's chapter markers down below if you need to skip to a section that's more important to you. And with all that being said, let's start unpacking the details of the Levo 30. What's up, friends? I'm John and this is Unpack'd. If you're new here, welcome. I'm glad to have you. Now, chances are if you're watching this video, you already know who and what Fyro is, but just in case you don't, Fyro is the brainchild of the internet's busiest bag nerd, Aaron of the gear review channel Nomad's Nation, right here on YouTube. And rather than partnering with an established bag company to build a bag, he decided to launch his own bag company. And he's using his experience of reviewing over 500 backpacks, and a lot of the other details are heavily influenced from the viewers themselves. And today he's launching his very first travel backpack, the Levo 30. But in addition to that, there's a couple of more items that are being launched. Alongside are some packing cubes and the Citta Sling. Now, I got my own video dedicated to the Citta Sling. I'm gonna drop a link down in the description, so please check that out so you wanna know all the details of the Citta Sling. But in today's video, we're gonna focus on the backpack, and I'm gonna touch on the packing cubes as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw the tech specs for you up on the screen. Please feel free to give that a pause if you wanna get a better look at any of those numbers. So currently, at the time of this pre-order launch, the Levo is actually gonna come in 2 different sizes, the 36 liter and the 30 liter, which I have for you here today. And it's also available in 2 different colors, black and a limited edition green. So currently at the time of filming, this bag retails for $249, and the larger 36 liter is going to be $259. But right now during the pre-order, you can actually save 10% by using the link down in the description. Of course, that is the affiliate link. If you want to support the channel, I appreciate it. But if you are considering it, picking up this bag, definitely try to get it on pre-order. Saving 10% is saving 10%, you know what I mean? So when it comes to the stated capacity of 30 liters, I can honestly say this did feel like a 30 liter bag, maybe even just a hair bigger, because you can really stuff this bag out. I actually got to travel and use this bag as my everyday carry. Now, I know 30 liters is way bigger than anybody needs for everyday carry, but trust me, all the stuff that I have to carry, it was nice to have that extra room in my bag. So when it comes to the listed weight of the bag, it has a listed weight of 2.2 pounds, but when I weighed it on my own personal luggage scale, I kept coming in at about 2.5 pounds, so pretty spot on. 2.2, 2.5 pounds. So 2.5 pounds for a 30 liter travel bag is extremely lightweight, and I know that that's something that Fyro really focused on when they were building this backpack, is to keep the weight down. The trade-off is when you're keeping the weight down, you're going to be missing some other features, and we'll get into that here a little bit once we start going through the rest of the bag. But overall, 2.5 pounds for a 30 liter bag, excellent. When this bag launched, I was pretty surprised to see a 30 and a 36 liter bag, because if you look at the specs on paper, both of them are going to be too big for a personal item. And I can confirm that here by my sizer box here. It's just slightly too big to be considered a personal item. But I can tell you from experience that I was able to get this bag underneath the airline seat, underneath the seat in front of me, and I was able to pass this as a personal item. It's just a hair too big. But of course, I was willing to take that risk and chance it myself. Just know that it is not personal item size, so if you do try to fly as a personal item, you can probably get away with it in the United States, but you're definitely gonna have to do so at your own risk. So when we start talking about the overall aesthetics of this bag, it's very clean and sleek. The only branding you have up front is right here on a little hyper long tag, and it blends in with the bag. It's a perfect way to brand your bag in my opinion. Now the overall aesthetic, it kind of gives me a Tortuga with a little bit of air sprinkled in there. Now I know that Aaron said when they were designing the aesthetic of the front panel of the bag, they were drawing inspirations from the Fyro T22, and I can kind of see that with the hatch, the lines right here. You can kind of see that in the lines right here. But if I'm being completely honest, I do think that the Levo 30 is a better looking bag. So when it comes to the overall quality of the Levo 30, this is built by Bag Me team in Vietnam, and I've had the pleasure of using several different backpacks, not just the Fyro 22. I've also used the Manal 38, and I also been testing another backpack that has yet to be released that's also made by the Bag Me team. But overall, the quality has been great. I haven't noticed any misaligned stitching, any weird stitching anywhere in the bag. If you're familiar with the Fyro T22, you can expect the same level of craftsmanship in your Levo 30. So jumping into the exterior features of the bag, it is constructed of a 330D polycarbonate Codra material. And my only other experience with Codra is going to be here on the Fyro T22. So really these are the only two bags that I've ever used in that material. And overall, I like the material. It's kind of crinkly, almost like a technical fabric, like an X-Pack or an Ultra, sort of crinkly, but not as crinkly. And it's not as soft as like you would get in your 500D nylon or your 420D Robic ripstop nylons. So that polycarbonate coating is actually applied to the front and the back, and that's what's gonna give you some pretty good water resistance. So this black colorway of the bag is a little bit muted, kind of more like a matte black. And because of that, I feel like dirt and dust and debris shows a little bit more on the bag. I intentionally left the bag dirty here down at the bottom. Not quite sure if the camera will pick it up. The dust and stuff that it picks up, I don't think it picks up more than any other bag. I just think it shows more than any other bag. But what I can confirm is that anytime that I pick up any dust and debris, by simply taking some water to the front of the bag, and wiping the bag down, the bag looks completely new again. So if you're somebody like me who likes to keep their gear nice, crisp, and clean, just anticipate having to hit this with a damp cloth from time to time just to knock off any debris. But overall, it's gonna be pretty weather resistant, dust resistant, pet hair resistant. You just may need to hit it with your hand or a damp cloth every now and then. So continuing along the outside of the bag, you do have two carry handles, one up top and one on the side. They do have some structure to them. So as you can see right there, the handle sticks out quite a bit. I do like that a lot. It is nicely padded. So if you have to carry this, this is gonna be a great handle to do so. I think the travel backpacks sometimes have two handles. There's a grab handle for you to pull it out of a trunk, pull it out of an overhead bin. Then there's a carry handle, some that are nicely structured and padded. These two are definitely carry handles. And one thing that I really liked about it is on the back side, they have a gear hook just for you to hang your bag. I like the separation of that. This is clearly meant for you to hang your bag up in the restroom stall, up at your accommodation, and these two are clearly padded for you to carry the bag from. Now this bag is only equipped with one water bottle pocket, which could be controversial to some. And on the other side, of course, you have nothing but that handle. Now, when it comes to the material of this water bottle pocket, I really like this material. It's really soft, really smooth. It looks really sleek on the bag. And it has some really great expansion, which I'll demonstrate for you. Once we get this bag fully loaded, I'll demonstrate how a big bottle will still actually fit when this bag is fully packed out. Now, when it comes to the other materials being used in the Levo 30, you have YKK zippers and you'll have all Woojin hardware. So that's all music to a bag near its ears. It's high quality components that are being used on this bag. And they are just regular zippers. There is no PU coating, they're reverse coil. And I really like the choice. I really like having a smooth zipper because I use the zippers way more than I get caught in the rain. So while I appreciate the extra water resistance of PU coated zippers, I just like the functionality of regular old zips. Great choice in my opinion to put regular zips on a bag that's meant to get used. So this bag does stand on its own exceptionally well because of the padded bottom that it has here. It's slightly padded, not a lot of padding, but just enough to make it be able to stand on its own. Now moving over to the back panel of the bag, this is where the money goes. This is where you're gonna pay for right here, in my opinion. The back panel and the shoulder straps are extremely comfortable and by far the best feature of this bag. You have these nicely contoured, well padded straps, and the material that they're using on the back side of the straps is called Neo Lycra. It's a blend of spandex, nylon, and neoprene. It's super soft, it feels super premium. It's an extremely comfortable material. I really like this as a shoulder strap material. And right here at the top of the shoulder strap, you can see where that neo lycra comes all the way over the edge. And that's just a nice little feature. That's something like me, like a bag nerd, looks for, because that means that somebody who was designing this bag paid attention. They just didn't mail it in. Now, the reason that I like that they have the neo lycra coming all the way over the strap is because that's where the strap is gonna hit you right here on the side. So if it rubs against the side here, you have a nice soft material. So especially if you're like a gym bro and you have them traps that make her dance, you can be rest assured that this backpack is gonna feel comfortable resting against your swole traps, or if you're just a normal dude like myself, it just still feels really nice. On the shoulder straps themselves, you have 2 gear loops here made out of Hyperlon to clip additional things like your sunglasses, hand sanitizer, AirPods, things of that nature. And up top, you do have load lifters to help dial in the comfort. Now, I will say that when I put this bag on, it felt like it did want to pull away from me from that top part. So having the load lifters there were awesome. It helped the bag just fit a little bit more comfortably, and I got rid of that sensation of the bag trying to pull away. Down at the bottom, you do have a magnetic sternum strap. Now, it is on a rail system, and you can easily adjust it by sliding it up and down. I don't know if it's fully removable. If you do, it's probably really hard to get off. But one thing that I liked about having the gear loops here at the top is when I take this magnetic strap off, I can tuck it into the top loop there, just so it's not swinging and dangling everywhere. So that's another reason why I like to have those 2 gear loops. I can put my sunglasses here, and then I can hang my sternum strap on the other one. Now, talking about the back panel itself, of course, you see we have a vertical luggage pass-through. That means the bag's gonna stand upright when you put it onto your carry-on luggage. And even though the back panel does look very busy and unorthodox to a lot of other backpacks that I've seen, it is very functional. It does provide a good amount of separation between you and your back to allow some decent airflow. So out of all the bags that I've tested, this is one of the most comfortable ones, and also one of the ones that just breathe really well, because I walk every day with this bag. I put in about 2 miles a day with my backpacks, and I can say that this backpack did feel a little bit cooler than some of the other ones that I have been testing. Now, down at the bottom of the backpack, there are 2 loops here for you to attach a hip belt. Now, I have the hip belt right here. It is an additional accessory. It does not come with the bag. Me, myself personally, I never used a hip belt. I don't think that this bag was large enough or tall enough to warrant that, but your results may vary. Just know that if you are a hip belt person or you think you need one, the option to purchase one is always there. I think it runs like 10 bucks or something like that. And to get the hip belt snapped into place, it is extremely easy by just running it through the gear loops. Literally in seconds, you can have the hip belt attached and ready to rock. And lastly, on the back panel is one security feature that I'm glad to see is a nice security pocket here on the side. Now, it's actually pretty generous. You can actually fit a couple of passports, or in my case, a wallet and a passport, but it's nice and secure. It's rested against your bag. It's definitely going to be the most secure pocket on the bag. So your cash, valuables, passport, wallet, great place to put those items, and there's plenty of room in there too. So getting into the main compartment, you're met with a 100D copper nylon, the same that is used on the Fyro T22. I really like this color. I really like this material. Even though it's 100D, a little bit thinner material, it feels very nice. It still feels very premium. I love having a contrasting color on the inside. It just makes it easier to spot your gear. Now, this internal lining is very, very nice. It has kind of like a honeycomb pattern, kind of what you would see like on an alpaca bag. It's very nice. Aesthetically, it's pleasing, and I just really like the copper color. So down at the bottom of this bag, you have a padded laptop sleeve. So it's important to note that in this backpack, you don't have a separate laptop compartment. It shares capacity with the main compartment. For a travel backpack, I think that's an excellent decision, because sometimes you don't travel with the laptop and then you have that whole wasted space. And on some other backpacks, I've actually tried to use that space by stuffing socks and underwears in the laptop compartment because I wasn't traveling with one. So I like the decision there to have it internal versus added weight for having its own dedicated compartment. Now, the laptop sleeve is fully suspended about a good inch off the bottom, so nice protection for your laptop there. This material here is going to be for your pocket on the inside there. And the backside on the beaver tail here, you're gonna have one stretchy pocket up top. And the mesh feels actually pretty good, very premium. It has plenty of give to it. And on the bottom, you have another just zippered pocket there. No internal organization in any of these 2 pockets, but that's that's pretty typical of what you're gonna find on most backpacks. On the front side of the bag is going to be your admin compartment, and it's very similar, almost identical to what you would see like on the Air City Pack Pro 2, the reworked Toshi pack. You're going to have one stretchy pocket on this side and then one solid pocket on this side. On the back side, you are going to have a larger compartment for you to put your iPad, your Kindle, your items like that, but it's not super padded, but there is a little bit of padding there for your device. Up top, you do have a spot to attach a key lanyard. Now, the bag doesn't come with one. If you order the Citta Sling, the Citta Sling does come with a removable key lanyard, or if you already own the Fyro T22, you can easily swap that key lanyard from that bag to here, or the Sling from here to there, but the bag itself doesn't come with a key lanyard. It just has a spot for you to hook up one. Right next to that is a spot for your smart tracker, or AirTag fits right in there for a little bit more security to keep track of your bag. Now this front pocket actually runs the entire length of the bag, and because of the way that it's sewn with these panels kind of sticking outwards, this pocket has a lot of volume in it by itself. So if you're looking to stuff a jacket or larger items, a full set of headphones, easily fits down in there, no problem, even with the main compartment fully packed out. Now the last compartment is the laptop section. It's just a quarter zip here. It's not going to open up all the way. On the back side, you have a double bonded Lycra, and it's heavily padded. So that double bonded Lycra is the same material that they're using on the back panel. So you have double bonded Lycra here, Neo Lycra on the shoulder straps. Everything feels super premium, super soft. So your laptop is gonna have the same comfort as you because it's using the same materials. So right across from the laptop section is an additional pocket. Now, when I was using this for EDC, I would put all my EDC items in there, like my AirPods, chapstick, all those kinds of things. And while I was traveling, I would put my laptop charger, my mouse, and things of that nature. I really did enjoy this pocket, but what I found myself doing was just leaving this pocket open. So I was treating it as a quick access pocket. So I can just open the laptop compartment and boom, I can just reach in there and grab whatever I needed. Now, I just made a video on the Embaro Raven, and that had a really unique design of using magnets to keep this pocket open. And then when you needed to access your laptop, you just peel back the magnets, grab your laptop, and then snap the magnets back. So I think the Embaro Raven had a pretty unique solution to a pocket like this. So for me, I would just leave it open, but if you want to keep your items secure, you do have an additional zipper to lock everything in that little tech compartment and keep it secure. So like I mentioned at the top of the video, launching alongside the Levo Travel Backpack was also the Citta Sling, but also these compression packing cubes. Now they're gonna retail for $49. It's gonna be a set of 1 large and 2 small. But again, if you do grab them at the time of pre-order, you're gonna be able to save 10%. Links down in the description. I'm also gonna pin a comment in case you wanna check out anything from the Fyro store. Please do so with the link in the description. Now these packing cubes are a 30 denier zigzag ripstop. Again, that's a first for me. I never had any product with a zigzag ripstop. And I can say it's 30 denier and it feels like it. It's a very, very thin material. It's still pretty durable, but because it's so thin, it's extremely lightweight. These are definitely the most lightweight packing cubes I have in my collection. And I do have an embarrassing amount of packing cubes. So in this one, I have a jacket that I shoved in there and stuffed it and compressed it down. I have 5 sets of socks and underwears in this one. And to show you that compression is just like any other compression packing cube. You use a zipper to compress it. It has mesh on this side, so it is gonna let your clothes breathe, especially if you wanna pack these back up with dirty clothes on your way on your return trip home. So easily spot what's in your packing cube and also let it breathe a little bit. And in the larger one, I have 4 t-shirts and 3 sets of pants. Now, I can tell you, I stuffed the hell out of this large one. It was a chore to get it closed. I don't recommend you do that, but that just speaks to the durability because this wasn't the first time I've done it. I've actually taken 2 trips with this packing cube specifically, and I shoved as much as I could in there, and it's held up quite nice. Now, you do have a lifetime warranty on everything that you're gonna get. If you do decide to order these, the backpack, all that comes with a lifetime warranty. But using YKK zippers on these is the pro move because you're gonna put some stress on them. That's where the point of compression packing cubes are. So these are an awesome lightweight packing cube, and of course it's gonna fit beautifully in the Levo backpack, and I'll show you that now. So these Levo packing cubes are gonna fit in both the 30 and the 36 liter packing cube. And as a bonus, they're also gonna work in your Fyro T22. But as you can see right here, using the 2 small and 2 large fits exactly into the backpack as intended and as designed. So the cubes are gonna fit perfect in the main compartment. You are gonna have a little bit of space up at the top, and that's where I'm gonna put my Gravel Slim toiletry kit. So this is exactly what I would pack on a trip for 5 days. I typically don't use the inside pockets because it competes for space with the items in your main compartment, but sometimes I'll throw in my med kit and a couple of little odds and ends, things that are not gonna be too bulky to really have to fight with the main pocket. Now I have been using these Jimmy footwear shower shoes. I got an ad for them on Instagram and I pulled the trigger on them, and I'm glad I did. They're super thin, really packable, and they also fold because they have a crease in them. I just have a weird thing about showering in gyms and other places like that. You should always be using a shower shoe, but because they're so thin and they fold and there's so much volume in this front pocket, it's just so easy to carry an extra set of sandals, shower shoes, an extra jacket, anything really of that nature. Because of so much room into that front pocket, they just disappear right in there like nothing. Now in these main pockets up front, I put my larger battery bank in case I need to power my laptop. And then on this pocket here, I just keep a pen. And I do travel with the flashlight, and I've been using the Woobin G5. I made a video on this, but having a dedicated light source when you're traveling, it just come in handy more times than I can count. That's pretty much all I kept in the admin compartment. Now on the back side, you have that padded sleeve there for a smaller device, like your iPad mini, your Kindle. You're not gonna get a full-size iPad. In a pinch, I could squeeze my 10-inch iPad in there sideways, but normally I would just take my notebook and put it down in there. Especially with the main compartment packed out, it made this one a little bit more tighter than normal, but just a great place to put a book, or in my case, my Moleskine notebook. So up top, you do have a place to clip things. While I didn't have the key lanyard, I do have my James Bean carabiner. I would clip my keys right in there. And then the AirTag spot right up top to slip your smart tracker down in there. And lastly, a pair of over-the-ear headphones. These are my Sony XM6s. Super expensive, but definitely worth the money. I really enjoy these headphones, and they'll fit right in there. No problem with all of that dedicated space because of the way that front panel was stitched up. So on the back side, you do have this security pocket, a great place to put your passport. This is my Wayfinder passport wallet, will fit in there. And then I have my regular wallet, my Wayfinder bifold, will also fit right up top. Both of them being pretty flat, still plenty of space in there. I mean, easily fit both of those wallets, no issue. So when it comes to the tech compartment, it's advertised to house up to a 16-inch MacBook Pro. I don't have one of those. I have the 16-inch Woodbook Pro. And as advertised, it will fit down into the padded laptop sleeve, no problem. Now, the larger 36-liter will house a 17-inch laptop. Now, across from the laptop compartment, you do have your small tech compartment there. Now, it is pretty tight because the bag is fully packed out, but I still had room to put my Magic Mouse. My large MacBook brick fits also in there, and of course, a charging cable. So that's really all the tech that I would carry, because I am a fan of 1.5 bag traveling. It's traveling with the larger travel backpack and something small like a messenger bag, or in this case, the Sling. So this is where the Citta Sling will come in handy. You pack all your essentials into your backpack. That's going overhead, especially since the 30 is technically too big to be a personal item. This thing is going to be a carry-on in the overhead bin, and with me in the seat is the Citta Sling. And here's where I'm going to put my backup battery, my AirPods, my cell phone, any other important documents that I need, plane tickets, things of that nature are going to be with me in the seat, where I can easily grab them, and this thing's going to be tucked away in the overhead bin. So huge fan of 1.5 bag traveling. And of course, since these two are launching together, there is going to be a bundle deal. Again, links in the descriptions if you want to check that out. So this bag is packed out to the absolute brim, and my 26-ounce Yeti Rambler will still fit all the way down into the bottom. The water bottle pocket, extremely well executed by choice of material, super stretchy, but also very sleek when not in use. It doesn't remain all flabby and flappy looking, but being able to house my bottle of choice, the 26-ounce Rambler, fully loaded is A+. So when it comes to the bag's overall comfort, I've been carrying it daily with about 23, 24 pounds. Today I decided to bring it out on my 2-mile walk here, loaded it up with the 30-pound plate. I also have a full bottle of water plus the weight of the bag. So I'm probably pushing around 35, 36 pounds. And the comfort is the shining star of this bag, hands down. There was a lot of effort, a lot of thought put into the harness and I can feel that by the wide straps, the thick padding, that really smooth neo lycra. Everything feels really good on the bag. There's strap keepers everywhere to keep all your dangle managed. Really great job on the harness. For me, it's hands down the best part of this travel backpack, because like I mentioned before, if it's not comfortable, will you even carry it? So definitely don't ruck in your Levo 30. It's just an easy way for me to test the harness by throwing some additional weight in there. Now, when it comes to things that I really enjoyed about the Levo 30 backpack, with no surprise, number one for me is comfort. This is one of the most comfortable travel backpacks that I've had the pleasure of using. Now for me, the Mystery Ranch bags that have the Futura harness that's fully adjustable, the Azo equipment bags that have that fully adjustable harness, those are some of the most comfortable bags that I've ever used. And I think, no lie, that the Levo is right up there with them, even though it doesn't have a fully adjustable harness. This thing is super comfortable. A lot of thought was put into the design, and I can tell you from experience and using this bag and carrying this bag over 2 miles every single day, and put real miles in with this bag, I can tell you without a doubt, a very comfortable bag. Another thing I really enjoyed about this backpack is how lightweight it is. Typically, when you get into super lightweight bags, there's going to be a lot of trade-offs. Here with the Levo 30, I think that there was a good balance between features and how lightweight it is. So, of course, the bulk of your weight being into the back panel, padding, and all of this area, where I think that's where the weight should have gone. And of course, you're going to be missing some things like a water bottle pocket on this side. There's not going to be a ton of compartments and zippers and all those other things. But overall, I think that it was a good balance between weight and features and still having that premium look and feel to the bag. And lastly, what I really appreciated about the Levo 30 backpack is its overall simplicity in its layout. It's super simple, and not a lot of thought is required into loading this bag up. It's essentially a 2-compartment bag because the laptop section isn't really its own laptop compartment. So just having 2 sections there, the simple layout is the same reason why I love the reworked Toshi pack and the Air City pack 2. It's just 2 big slots up front, a simple pocket on the back, and lots of area for you to store things. And I think that that's important in a travel backpack. Just maximize the space that you have. Don't bombard it with a tons of little pockets and pin loops and things of that nature. And that's one thing that I really knocked the Alpaca travel backpack for. It's just because it had like 17 plus pockets and just made the backpack feel tight. So I like the overall simplicity and allowing you to maximize the space that you have within your bag. So while I do really enjoy using the Levo 30, I do have some little nitpicks with the bag, and I assure you there's just small little nitpicks. And the first one being is that only the main compartment had double zippers. I like to have double zippers on all my compartments because I like to keep my zippers parked in the opposite direction. So the tech compartment and the admin compartment only have 1 zipper. So if I wanted to leave my zippers on this side, because that's the way I like to orient the bag, I didn't have that option. So again, not a deal breaker. It's just something I had to like reprogram my brain and tell it like, hey, all the zippers are on the right side of the bag when I put the bag down in front of me. So again, super small nitpick, but it's something that I noticed that I wish I had double zippers on those other compartments as well. Now I know there were some tough decisions that were made to make this backpack super lightweight, like having only 1 water bottle pocket, but this whole side of the bag felt like it was real estate unused. Everything was dedicated to this carry grab handle. I would have liked to have seen a small webbing loop or a hyperlon loop, maybe something similar to like the Fyro tag on this side here, so I could hang additional gear on the outside, like my hand sanitizer, or I can hang my hero clip, or another pouch to add more volume to this bag. Just a super nitpick and not a deal breaker by far, but it would have been nice, given that all this real estate is open, just to have another place to put my hero clip or anything of that nature. And lastly, one thing that really surprised me about this bag is how deep that it can pack out. Now, it has a listed depth of 7.5 inches, but once you utilize all the space and fully pack this bag out, I'm getting closer to like 10.5, 11 inches fully packed out. So it's a pretty deep bag, and it's kind of something similar I saw with the CTB 26 and 20, that they can grow really big on your back and kind of look like a turtle shell. So just something to be mindful is that you can really pack this bag out. It'll stick out quite far. So if you're going into tight spaces like in the subway shuttles and airports, or if you're just wandering around the airport through the aisleway, you have to be mindful of swinging this bag around. I did knock a passenger or two coming in and out of the bathroom of the airport. So just to be mindful, I typically like a little bit of a taller bag. So for me personally, I would probably opt for the 36 liter and pack it a little less, and just to have that additional height and kind of reduce the overall depth. But just something to keep in mind, that fully packed out, this baby can get pretty wide. So for some final thoughts on the Levo 30 Travel Backpack from Fyro, I believe that this is a fantastic first offering in a travel backpack from the company. It checks a lot of my own personal criteria that I look for in a bag. Is super simple layout, premium and durable materials, and first and foremost, comfort is at the forefront of the bag, because like I said a million times, if it's not comfortable, you're not gonna carry it, and it's essentially a waste of money if you're not carrying the bag that you purchased. So like I mentioned at the top of the video, this is a workhorse travel bag. It's meant to travel, it's meant to fly, get some miles on it. So don't be afraid to throw it underneath the seat in front of you, toss it up in the overhead bin, or just toss it into the trunk of your car. I think it's gonna be a durable travel bag, very comfortable to carry, and I really do think that it's gonna serve you very well on many trips to come. But now I wanna know what you think of the Fyro Levo 30 Travel Backpack. Do you own a T22? So are you familiar with the Codger? I would really want to get some more opinions on this Codger 330 material. I would like to know your opinion on the bag overall. Now, if you have any more questions about this backpack, please feel free to leave them down in the comments. The goal of this channel is to always help you find the right gear for you. So if you want to know how something fits or something particular about the bag, please leave a comment. I respond to every single one. Now, if you made it this far in this video, I want to say thank you so much for sticking around to the end. I want to say thank you to Fyro for sending this backpack out for me to test and review. And if you like videos like this, or if you found any of the information today valuable, please don't forget to hit like and subscribe, as that directly supports me and the channel. So I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I can't wait to see you on my next one.